Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Ravi of Ravi Plays Games. Today we're diving into Delverium, a survival crafting game that really delivers when it comes to enjoyable gameplay. I've been playing the demo, which offers probably a good 2 to 3 hours of playtime in a vibrant top-down pixel graphic world. Like many games in this genre, the overall goal is to gather, craft, and survive. Throughout this video, I'll highlight some of the gameplay aspects where I feel like Delverium really shines. The common theme of these aspects is that the game doesn't try to get in the player's way. Let's hop into the settings. You can see there are several languages available. We also have basic options in graphics, and the sound options are a pretty typical breakdown. The interface option has a setting that I love for accessibility reasons. While the pixel font looks cool and fits the art style, it can be very difficult for me to read. I really appreciate that the developer offers the ability to switch to a font that is easier on my eyes. Alright, let's make our character. We can choose hairstyle and hair color. I like how the character faces the camera and turns to the side so that you can see how the styles will look without having to interact to spin the character around for previews. They gave me an option for purple hair, so I couldn't pass that up. For the body, you can choose essentially big or small. I chose small because, to be honest, I haven't been bench pressing very much lately. Then we'll just set a skin color and get ready to jump into the game. Delverium's demo has split-screen co-op play available, and the full version is slated to offer online co-op experiences. I think this may be why there are separate files for your character and world saves. Okay, let's play. First things first, we need supplies. A classic survival game start, right? Well, yes and no. But we start the game with a set of tools ready to go. All the better to gather everything in sight. We also don't need to look very far for our first NPC encounter. We'll chat with him and see what he's got to say. Hello. Okay, so this is another one of the cool features in Delverium. The friendly NPCs you encounter all want to join your camp. The only catch is that they need a bed in a room with fancy features such as a floor, walls, a door, a bed, and a light source. But once you've gathered the materials and built them a room, you can return to the NPC and invite them to join your crew. From there, each NPC that you invite will act as a shopkeeper. You'll be able to trade your items for coin and use coin to buy their specialty goods. This little world is not without its dangers, however. There's a stairwell leading down underground close to where I spawned. An ominous set of stairs leading down into the dark is one thing, but I've heard a voice calling up for help each time I get near it.
Anybody there?
My inside voice recommended trying to improve my gear and gather supplies before attempting a rescue mission, but my fingers ignored that and headed down with just my starter supplies. Fear not, friends. My character did not perish. Well, not at that point. After a quick reconnaissance and an encounter with a bat, I determined it would be best to be a little better equipped before I resumed my rescue mission. Due to my detour underground, I did not do any of the typical first day of a survival game activities such as securing shelter. This led me to spending the first night dodging bats instead of restfully slumbering. The other unfriendly faces in the starter area that kept coming to greet me were zombies. Like many zombies, they approached with outstretched arms to give me hugs, but I took advantage of my gathering tools doubling as effective weapons. No hugs needed, thanks. Once I had some basics set up, I headed out for additional building materials and to do a little exploration. I found several plants which each gave me a full-grown cooking ingredient item, along with a seed to grow more of the same back at my camp. Near the coast I found some silica which allowed me to make lovely walls with a window to spruce up my base. Crafting in Delverium is another aspect of the game that really shines. As long as you have the materials and any necessary specialty tool out, you can craft right from your inventory interface. And if you decide you want to move a wall, or you accidentally place something in an unintended location, just switch to the handy hammer you found on your hotbar at the beginning of the game. You can use that to remove any built object and return it to your inventory. From there, you can place it in a different spot, keep it in your backpack, sell it to one of the vendors, or store it in a chest. But what you won't have to do is rebuild it or head back out to farm additional materials just because you wanted to move the door to a different spot on the wall. Floyd started feeling more comfortable and opened up to me with some hints about the island's lore. They were vague in nature, but I look forward to uncovering more lore and building on Floyd's hints. I crafted a hoe and got to work tilling an area for my garden. With the seed drop rate from my exploration, I'd be able to build quite the farming venture. Farming is another area in this game that eliminates some of the busy work found in similar games. The tool that is missing from the crafting menu that I honestly do not miss? A watering can. Farming in Delverium involves finding seeds, tilling a piece of land, placing the seed on the tilled spot, and gathering it when it's done growing. There's no daily watering requirement or losing half of your game day morning to watering all of your crops because it didn't happen to rain that day. The plants just grow, and I think that's just great. After getting the farm started, I decided to head back down the mystery stairwell and try to rescue the voice in the dark. This time I placed some lights in case I needed to quickly retreat. Back on the surface, Bryn the blacksmith asked me to recruit her. No problem, Bryn. You can take my bed. I'll just make myself another one. I had just expanded our little dorm room at the base when another NPC wandered into the camp. Perfect timing. Our little group was growing so fast, I figured it was best to just expand the base a bit more. The next day, I was feeling emboldened by how well everything was coming together, so I decided to explore a bit more. I wandered along waterways and found myself in a thick jungle. It was getting late in the day when I found myself running from a wasp. The sun went down, and that's when even more friends that were not actually friendly joined the wasp in chasing me into a thick tree line. My thought in that moment was, well, I guess it's time to find out about the death mechanics. So for the sake of science, I returned to my bed back at the base the fast way, leaving a sack on the ground at the place of my demise. I was confused at first that I seemed to have all of my inventory when I arrived back at base. Since I was positive a bag had appeared on the ground when my character was overrun, I tried to sort out what could have been in the bag. That's when I realized my coins were missing. I'm used to dropping all of my inventory, or at least everything that isn't equipped, when my characters die in survival games. In some of those games, getting back to your belongings can be a grueling and painful experience. Sure, it can be rewarding when you manage it, but I appreciate that Delverium went a gentler route for the player here. There is still a purpose in rescuing what you dropped, but it's not necessarily mission critical and made even more challenging by a loss of gear. Once I determined that I had only left behind my coins, I spent a little time back at base before heading out to retrieve them. I built up the farm, I put in a fence, met another NPC, made an enclosure for a baby chick, and then I slept through the night. At this point, I honestly wondered if the bag of coins would still be there. But I needed to wrap up my play session and I wanted to find out first. I made my way back eastward. This time, I cut an escape route through the tree line, just in case. The bag was still there, with my coins. I rescued my copper and did a bit more exploring on my way back west. Home sweet home. That's going to be it for today's first look at Delverium. I'll put the link for the game in the description below, so be sure to click that link to check out and wishlist the game. Please let me know in the comments below which quality of life feature we saw today that's your favorite. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and let me know in the comments what you would like to see me cover next. Thank you for watching. Bye for now from Ravi at Ravi Plays Games. See you soon!